Killer Toe by Anthony Witcher. This is a 2014 book. I've already read the first. I don't know if these are chapters or if they're vignettes or what. The second one is Shovel. I've already read Stuck. You can find that on this channel. Shovel. The scene was crowded. Several more Washtenaw County Sheriff's deputies' cars had arrived after the accident, while EMS and fire trucks from Augusta Township and a Huron Valley ambulance were parked along Whitaker Road. Two deputies were taking notes, talking with the road commission crew, who were still in shock. Other deputies were on the road, directing traffic. One lane was closed off, and they were coordinating the slow movement of two-way traffic through the remaining open one. In the closed lane, the deputy medical examiner was down on one knee, working on the body. A white sheet covered it, except for the feet. The paramedic stood by the Huron Valley ambulance, watching the deputy medical examiner. The firemen stood around the medical and fire trucks. The driver of the small car sat in the back of the sheriff's deputy's car with his hands cuffed behind his back. The tow truck driver was hooking the small car to the truck so that he could pull it out of the ditch. The deputy medical examiner didn't look too happy when he saw the dead guy's toe stuck in the asphalt. He reached beneath the foot and began to pull. Suddenly, he let it go and coughed a couple of times. Tried again. What happened? That don't seem right. Coughed a couple of times. He tried again to pull the toe from the asphalt, but it wouldn't come loose. He looked up and signaled for the paramedics, who came with the wooden stretcher. The deputy medical examiner stopped them. "We need to dig the toe out. It's stuck." The young female paramedic moaned. "Where are we going to find a shovel? What do you think?" the deputy medical examiner replied. She looked at him like she didn't know. He said, "Go ask the fireman." She turned to the fireman. "Oh." The deputy medical examiner watched her toddle away and sighed. Rookies. Sometimes they still need to be told. The second paramedic was chewing gum and looked like a serious medic veteran. He had a short crew cut and looked physically fit, his face deeply tanned. He nodded. "It's her second day." "That figures," he said, watching as a fireman walked to the fire truck where he pulled out a medium-length, fiberglass-handled metal axe with a hook on one end and handed it to the young female paramedic. As she toddled back, the deputy medical examiner whispered, "If she keeps toddling like that, you have a long way taming her." "Here it is, sir," the young female paramedic said, walking to him. He took the axe and struck the hook into the paved road. "Ouch," he said. The paramedics looked at the deputy medical examiner. He said, "The road is too hard. Go get the fireman to come over here." The fireman came and found out that digging the toe out of the asphalt wasn't easy. The deputy medical examiner took one step back and told the firemen and paramedics that they had to get the toe out. The firemen took turns using the axe to chip away small chunks of hard asphalt. One of them went back to the fire truck and pulled out a pick with a long wooden handle. He returned to the scene and began to dig. The deputy medical examiner shouted orders. "Be careful with that. You don't want to mess around with the deceased's toe." They looked at him as they tried to keep from laughing at his wicked remark. They dug slowly into the asphalt like it was going to take them forever to dig the toe out. The Washtenaw County Sheriff's deputy walked up. "What's the holdup? You guys have been working here for half an hour." The deputy medical examiner replied, "They're almost done." The firemen stood back and the paramedics reached into the ground around the toe. They began to pull the toe out when the deputy medical examiner yelled at the rookie paramedic, "Go grab underneath the foot." "Yes, sir," she replied, and put her hands under the buried toe. They slowly pulled the foot, and it slowly came loose from the asphalt. The firemen walked back to the fire truck. "EU," the rookie paramedic said as the toe finally came free. The veteran paramedic stood up and reached for the stretcher. The rookie was about to reach for the tow when the deputy medical examiner yelled, "Don't touch it." Quickly, she withdrew. "I was going to clean off the asphalt." "Don't you ever touch it," demanded the deputy medical examiner. "Just put the foot down beside the hole." The toe was mangled white and asphalt black mixed with red, bloody meat. It looked like it wasn't done enjoying being stuck in the freshly paved road. It looked like a lion wasn't done tearing meat off the bone of his prey. The Washtenaw County Sheriff's deputy gulped nervously and looked away from the exposed toe. The deputy medical examiner continued to shout orders. "Lift it up and put it on the stretcher." The veteran paramedic reached over and grabbed beneath the dead man's armpits. The rookie paramedic stood up and moved in between the dead man's legs, putting her hands underneath them. Together they lifted his body from the ground and moved it on the wooden stretcher. The rookie was looking at the toe like she worshipped it. The deputy medical examiner reached over the white sheet. He hissed, "Would you stop fantasizing about that toe?" and pulled the sheet over it. "It's just a toe," she said softly. The deputy medical examiner rolled his eyes and sighed. "Take it away." "Phoebe, come on," the veteran paramedic said. She turned around and grabbed the handles of the wooden stretcher. They lifted the stretcher over the gurney and pushed it into the ambulance. The tow truck's driver's eyes were wide with excitement. Standing at the controls of the tow truck, he pushed one of the levers down and pulled the small car out of the ditch like it was his biggest prize catch. The small car whined, coughed, and gagged like a fish fighting against the line as it was dragged out of heavy, muddy water. The driver wiped sweat away. The driver wiped sweat from his head and grinned quietly. Right. Interesting. Not bad. Not bad, honestly. The writing's fine. I'm not sure about the plot line, but the writing's fine.